The Southwest is one of the hottest places in the country, and not just because of the weather, but because of the flavor. And if you're looking flavor of the Southwest, grab yourself a little VooDoo Chef Red and make it all taste amazing. Welcome to Tracks from When Music Didn't Suck. My name's Erik Youngs. You might know me as the VooDoo Chef, and I'm here with my good pal Kimo Gray. He and I go all the way back to 1986. Life brought our paths together, and we've been hanging ever since. Kimo, what's going on, friend?
Man, not a whole lot, but we're going to be talking about some good music today. That's for sure, my brother.
We're going to be talking about great music every day, like we always do. And tonight, we're actually going to tackle Stryper's first full-length release, Soldiers Under Command, released back in 1985, when music didn't suck, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's all about. You know, before we do, though, let's take some questions from the mailbag. We got booties out there who follow the podcast and all that stuff, and they send questions all the time. One of the questions we got recently was about guitars, and I figured how apropos. The question was, what do you look for when you're purchasing a new guitar? Hey, Kimo, I'm going to let you take this because you're the master, bro.
Hey, simple. Like I was just saying before in our pre-production meeting. Hey, look, my old Kimo, when I first started, it was like, hey, it's got to look cool. I love Jakey Lee. So what did I do? I got a copy Jakey Lee guitar, a Rio Pro 2.
I remember it.
Oh, man, I loved it. Double humbuckers, bridge, neck. You can selectable, single coil. Wonderful, right? But older Kimo's going to say, hey, if you're buying a first guitar, make sure it's comfortable and it's going to, probably provide all the styles of music that you like to play. So my recommendation always, you can't go wrong with like nice Stratocaster, a lot of pickups to think about. Wow. But yeah, that's what I look for in a guitar. First time guitar, get something that's comfortable, and if you're not going electric, then get a nice acoustic, learn those chords before you start leading the way and have a good time at it.
That's the best advice. Learn the bass, no matter what guitar you get. Start with the basics. And by looking behind me, you can kind of guess how shallow I am when it comes to guitars. I want the shapes. I want the flash. I love my Flying V's. But let's not fool us. I've got the Les Pauls and I've got the Strats hanging as well because you got to have those traditional old schools to get it going. Very cool, dude. I remember your white guitar. That was so Jakey Lee. More importantly, you could shred like him too, dude.
No, not so much. But my dreams.
Dude, when he left Ozzy, I was there when you got the call.
I know. It was like, I came out like to come over and fix my burrito. Sure, how about playing guitar? Not a chance, fat boy. Anyway, so.
Oh, that's too funny, man. We got a second question, and it actually came via text from our good friend, Jose Charuca. And how funny, because the album we're looking at tonight, it comes from Stryper, his favorite band. And he's probably going to be upset that he's not on the podcast with us. But he asks, what is that device called the guitarists put around their neck? What is it and what's it used for? Now, it's called a capo, and we use this to change the key of the guitar or whatever. It's in that open E. If you put the capo on the first fret, it takes it to the F. I don't use it too often unless I'm being lazy and I don't want to tune from E flat to E. Kimo, do you use this much at all?
I do, and especially when I'm playing acoustic guitar, because there's a lot of times you want that open sound up in the key of G or key of A. and you can't get that, just doing it without the capo. So yeah, it's nice. Or maybe you're dropping down to A flat, whatever, those flat keys, which are for guitar players sometimes could be challenging. So you don't have to do that. You can just keep on playing the same patterns that you do normally for a G or a C or a D chord, but you're just moving that up the fretboard. So yeah, it just makes life easier definitely for guitar players.
Absolutely. And I forgot about making those open chords, making life easier by moving it up and down the neck.
I'm all about life easy. Come on.
Yeah, but that's still just being lazy at the end of the day.
No. It's just being smart. It's guitar smart.
I like that. Guitar smart.
Guitar smart.
TM. We own that now.
That's right. And registration. Ricky Bobby.
I forgot that one. I forgot it. Hey guys, if you want to ask us questions, hit us on the social pages at VooDoo Chef 13. Drop it in there. Maybe put a little mark in there called music or tracks from when music didn't suck, so that we know that's what it's about, and our team will get it over to us so we can keep it here. Most importantly, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to take a deep dive into Soldiers Under Command from Stryper that came out in 1985 when music didn't suck. Everybody likes it dirty. VooDoo Chef Dirt, our version of an espresso rub, built for the perfect cowboy steak, dirty bird, or even popcorn. Doesn't matter where you like it dirty, rub a little dirt on it.
Secret in the kitchen, spices dancing sharp. VooDoo Chef got the potion, feel the heat in every bite. You will worship with devotion, flavor takes you to new heights.
So hey, I'm Casey Grello. I play drums with Queensryche, and I love VooDoo Chef. It's amazing stuff. My wife and I cook with it all the time. Thank you, VooDoo Chef.
Hey, this is Andrew from the Boozy Pig, and when we play with our meat, it's always with the VooDoo Chef.
Hi.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Miss Ruby Red Monroe, all the way from San Francisco, California. Don't forget, you should check out some VooDoo Chef Dirt. See, I can be a spokes model. VooDoo Chef Dirt is an amazing product. I use it all the time in my kitchen, but also the fun fact about this product is that a portion of the proceeds go to culinary scholarships, which is really amazing. So if you can, go out, check us out online, VooDoo Chef. Find it at a store near you. Mwah. See you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, I just wanted to tap in real quick and talk to you about the VooDoo Foundation and what it's done for me. My junior year, I started with the foundation in my first competition where I created a quesadilla taco with my partner. It was absolutely amazing. Through that competition, I got to meet a lot of new judges, new people, and open my eyes about what I wanted to do in this industry. My second competition was in my senior year where I once again created another dish, talked to some more people, and learned some new things. Right now I'm working with the foundation and furthering my skills, and it's really helping me improve. So I'll check in with you guys later. If you want to learn more or help donate so you can get other people to start doing what I'm doing, go ahead and click this QR code right here and it'll give you all the information you need.
A secret in the kitchen, spices dancing sharp. VooDoo Chef got the potion, feel the heat in every bite. You will worship with devotion, flavor takes you to new heights.
Welcome back. We're talking about Stryper's debut full-length album, Soldiers Under Command, that came out in 1985, back when music didn't suck. Kimo, what's your first recollection of Stryper and being introduced to their music?
Well, two things. Had a friend, God rest his soul, Vince Marsicano, great guitar player, great brother in the Lord, like that. He was saved way before I ever got saved. And, he had a connection with Stryper like I do now, many years later. But he introduced it to, that band to me. And then I always remember the newscasters always saying, these guys are throwing Bibles out at the concerts. And I always just thought, that's the greatest thing, man. I'm like, hey, but yeah, that was my first recollection.
That's cool, man. I didn't know Vince was the one that turned you on. You introduced me to Vince, rock solid dude. I'm sorry that he's gone, man. I was introduced to Stryper by my friend Bob, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, I'm going to go see this concert. Do you want to go? I'm going to a Christian rock show." And I was like, "That's interesting. Let's go." And we went and saw them in St. Pete. They opened up for another band, and those Bibles you're talking about, I caught one that very first show.
Nice.
I wish I could tell you this was it. Back in those days, they would buy Bibles and just put their stickers on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it meant something more to one of my friends, so I let him have it. And you and I have been going to see Stryper since 1986 together, and we saw them as recent as like a year ago over in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I told the story to Jose, and shortly after that, Jose brought me one of his Bibles because he has multiple. So very cool. I received a Bible at my first Stryper show when I was with Bob, good friend of mine. And then I received it at the last show when I was with my friends. Just great memories, man, all along the way, from the Bayfront Center to Night of Joy to the last time we saw them at the House of Blues. And I really do relate them to my time with you, because when you and I connected and finally got into the musical gimmick and you introduced me to Scott and Jose and Jay, we got together at Scotty's house, and one of the first songs we played together, I should say tried, was Soldiers Under Command. And by try, I definitely mean this guy.
Oh, stop. All of us, man.
But,
come on.
You know, maybe we'll take a look at that footage.
Yes, there is footage.
I do have it, and maybe we'll play it, but maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't.
All right, let's jump into this, because we're going to score these things on a few different criteria. First thing, we're going to look at the album art. We're going to look at the outside art, the inside art, the liner notes, the whole package, and we're going to score that. Second thing we're looking for is quality of songs. Is it all killer? How much filler? We'll see. What were the hits? How many releases? How many hit the charts? We'll talk about that. And finally, something very important to me, the track order. There has to be a sensical order to the tracks. Finally, playability. Would you listen to this album again? We'd love to see what you score. Drop your scores in the comments and play along with us. How are we scoring? Real simple. We're going to score each category on a scale from 1 to 6 strings. 1 string representing a hard pass. 2 strings, meh. 3 strings, it's definitely worth the listen. 4 strings, I'd check it out again. 5 strings, a def go-to. 6, it's in my solid rotation. So if you're ready, let's take a look at Stryper's debut album, Soldiers Under Command, starting with album art. Kimo, how do you feel about the album art? We were talking about it earlier. Tell me what you think.
You know, it's definitely solid in the fact that the band's on there. I kind of like that. I dig when the band's on there, and they got the vehicle there, and they're dressed in the classic Stryper outfit. So love it. All the yellow and black, all the better. You know, it just doesn't have that, you know, a graphic artist appeal. So, you know, I ended up giving it, I believe, 4 strings. So that's what I'm going to go with.
A very strong 4 strings.
Yes.
Now, for myself, when I saw the front cover of the album, to me, I had already seen Stryper. I had already had their EP. So when I saw this, for me, it did not hit into my musical genre as much as I would expect. Being more into the flash and the glam, you know, for me, this was a little strong. And I get it, and I get the message they're saying, but it wasn't until I turned the album over and I got to see the back cover when I said, this is the band that I know. So when you look at this, you can see the big hair, you can see the guitars. And, you know, I love that they got the chevrons there going back to the soldiers. The whole thing played into it. And even over the top, even more, something that, for me, very important back in the day, we didn't have Apple Music. If we were listening to an album, we would have to stop it and go back and play it again in order to find out the lyrics. They included the lyric sheet on the album cover, on the inside sleeve, and it also came with the merch paper. And I loved looking at the merch paper. For me, the front cover is what brought it down.
That's why I gave it 4 strings. Let's do a quick recap. For album art, for Soldiers Under Command, I gave it a 4 strings, and Kimo also gave it a 4 strings.
When we come back, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to take a look at the songs, the playability, and find out Stryper's total score for their debut album, Soldiers Under Command. Don't go away. We're coming back with more tracks from when music didn't suck. Everybody likes it dirty. VooDoo Chef dirt. It doesn't matter what you're cooking. Rub a little dirt on it, and it's going to bring that espresso rub and make everything pop. I get asked all the time, why Tequila 512? And it would be real easy for me to say it's the 100% blue agave, the locally sourced volcanic spring water, the triple distillation, the 24-hour charcoal filtration. Hell, we could talk about the bourbon barrels, the oxygenation process, but at the end of the day, it just tastes damn good. Tequila 512, the official tequila of the VooDoo Chef. I use the word amazing a lot, and it's perfect to describe VooDoo Chef Zing, because it's amazing. This is what we use to make BRE, the best ranch ever. The recipe's right on the bottle, but it doesn't take away from its use as a barbecue rub and seasoning. Barbecue competitors across the country using it to take top 10 finishes and even grand champions. Make sure you try out our amazing. Whiskey lovers know how critical temperature variations are to aging whiskey. Blue Note Bourbon is crafted in Memphis, Tennessee, where it is aged in their warehouses located just east of the Mississippi River. And based on its fruity vanilla flavor with smooth oak finish, the unique microclimate of the region with high humidity and steady temperature adds up to create the perfect place for aging. Head down to the crossroads and jump into a juke joint and enjoy every bluesy note of the official bourbon of the VooDoo Chef, Blue Note Bourbon. Welcome back to Tracks When Music Didn't Suck. We already took a look at album art, and I scored it a 4 overall, and Kimo did the same. We had different reasonings, but we both came up to the same conclusion. Now we're going to take a look at quality of songs. We're going to take a look, is it all killer? How much filler? What are the hits? How many did they put out? And most importantly, for me, that track order. Kimo, let's get this thing rolling. If we're looking at the quality of songs, how did you feel about the entire album? What did you think?
Well, first of all, it opens strong. Soldiers Under Command. Favorite. I mean, name of the album. However, if I'm going to give it where the thump is at, I like the way it closes out with the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Strong. In fact, when we were just up in Orlando to see them last year, they opened the show with that. Oh. I got goosebumps. You know, I mean, it's a great song. Obviously,
it makes me emotional.
Oh, come on. You know, I mean, you can't go wrong with a hymn. I mean, and especially the way they rock it out. Fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. And you're right. It kills with Soldiers. Did you say that's your favorite song?
Yes, it's one of my favorite songs, definitely. Soldiers, and then Battle Hymn right there. I mean, they're kind of tied. I like that they started strong, they ended strong. You know, you always remember how you start and how you finish. And Stryper did it right on this album.
And now, I don't know how you listened to this album. I listened to it on vinyl. So when I first got this, I was hard vinyl. And what I absolutely love is it does start strong with Soldiers. And, you know, if I were being honest, I love the guitar riffs. I love the harmonizing guitars because it takes it back to my home, Kiss. And people don't realize They did it with Detroit Rock City, and they did it in a few other songs as well. So for me, that's what hit. But Makes Me Want to Sing, probably my number one Stryper song of all time. I absolutely love it. And I can see in my head every time I hear that song, you doing the Oz Fox dance because, dude, you would make me laugh every time we did it.
Yes.
But then they come back with Together Forever, which is, again, just on my end of the thing, a lot more poppy, a lot more bouncy, followed by First Love, which for me is a total drop. Yeah, I understand it. It's a great song, and it kind of just drops. But then, bro, they hit that first side hard with The Rock That Makes Me Roll. And for me, when you look at that song list, the way it plays out on side one, it couldn't get much better for me. So my two favorite songs off the album are on side one. Strong Finish, Strong End. I can live with the other one. And then you flipped it over. Reach Out, my third favorite song off the album. Insane. Coming right out of the gate. And, you know, I don't know how you feel, but they're a Christian rock band. I don't usually refer to them as that because for me, it's just positivity. They're doing nothing but selling positivity. And I guess it's one and the same at the end of the day, right?
100%. And like I had said in the beginning, what Stryper meant to me back in 1985, and now you flash forward to it now, two different things. I mean, I listen to their music and their words because it is the gospel, you know, it's the Bible. It hits me in a whole different place now. But back then, you know, it was, you know, hard rock, great message. And yes, you know, when you're growing up, we need to hear some positive things instead of, hey, clean your room. Hey, get to work, get a job. You know, it's nice to actually have some encouragement. And Stryper did that 100%.
You know, I wore blue jeans and a concert shirt almost every day through middle school and probably most time through high school. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what people looked and thought of me, but for me, I was always hearing that message. And you know, to me, it was equally as important to the music. And I would never vocalize that. I would never say that. You probably know that more than anybody.
Of course.
But I just think the entire project is amazing. And this album encapsulizes a lot of that and introduces it to a lot of people. Something I thought's real cool on side two, when we get into Waiting for a Love That's Real, it starts out with that heavy church organ. And I can remember the first time I heard this, I was like, all right, guys, this is too much. You pushed it too far.
They pushed the envelope, which they've always done. I mean, come on. That's what I love about Michael Sweet. Sometimes he's sweet in the last name, but he's got edge in his songs and his lyrics, and I love that. Keep it there, my brother. Don't stop.
But the organ fades out, and they go right back to that heavy drive.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Followed by Surrender. I mean, my favorite Stryper songs, I would say 4 out of the top 5 come off this album. And that's, for me, what makes it. And it's the songs. And to end with the battle hymn, you know, when I first heard it, it's like, what are they doing? But like you say, it is amazing. And what they do and the way they do it, absolutely insane.
Drawing it out, you know, making it big and just the drums. I mean, that sound and that reverb. I mean, that's rock, man. That's the way it is. There was no digital. No, this was full analog, blasted up to, you know, plus 6 dB and then some. Fantastic.
They went to 11.
11. These amps go to 11.
All right. So we got to score this on a 1 to 6, Poppy. Where did you come in on the songs of the album?
5 strings, man. Solid 5.
Kimo came in with the 5 strings. If you couldn't tell by my talk, I came in with a hard 6 on this. I think this is all killer, no filler. It's amazing. And if you get a chance to hear it on vinyl, it comes in strong, finishes isn't strong. And then you got to take that time to flip it over, and it does the exact same thing. It almost, oh man, I got to tell you, I know what I'm listening to tonight, Kimo. I absolutely know. I listen to music every night before I go to bed, and this is going to be on my list tonight. Let's take it. Let's bring it home, dude. The final category is playability. And with playability, real simple. Would you play this again? Would you listen to it again? How does it fall? What did you score playability on this record?
Yes, I would absolutely play it again. Yeah. It's in my playlist. A hard 6 all the way.
Same for me, a hard 6. I already told you 4 of my favorite songs from Stryper in here. All 4 of those songs are on the greatest hits, which is what I listen to. We've got our total scores. If we total these out, Kimo, let's see where we end. We've got me coming in with a total of 16, you with a total of 15, which takes the grand total to 31. Soldiers Under Command, Stryper's first release, coming in at a hard 31. That's a great score. And most importantly, it's a great album. Came out in 1985, from when music didn't suck. It's time for the twins, Black and Nola. If you like the flavor of New Orleans, we got it right here and here. VooDoo Chef Blackening Seasoning. Create the perfect redfish, just like our boys up in New Orleans. But if you're looking for a little more of that Creole flavor, just grab the original Nola, New Orleans, Louisiana. Get your blackening, get your Creole, all in one shot. Welcome back to Tracks from When Music Didn't Suck. This week we looked at Stryper's Soldiers Under Command. Kimo and I scored this album. On album art, we gave it an 8. Songs, we gave it an 11. Playability, we gave it a solid 12. Bringing Stryper in at a 31 string overall score. Not too shabby. Kimo, final thoughts on Stryper.
You got music with a message, the gospel message. You couldn't ask for better rock and roll all the way. Wow!
Right? I mean, just absolutely amazing. And we talk about tracks when music didn't suck, but let's not forget there's some great artists coming out these days. And I recently sent a track to Kimo from a band called Red VooDoo. My favorite song, Style. They're a hybrid of all California bands put together. You can hear all of them. Most prominent in my mind, Sammy Hagar, who I absolutely love. And when you check them out, I think you'll hear it in the guitar. You'll hear it in the bass. Most importantly, you're going to hear it in that song composition and those vocals. My goodness, the vocals. Amazing lead vocals, followed up with those backgrounds. You got to have it all. If you get a chance to check out Red VooDoo, check them out. Kimo, what did you think about Red VooDoo?
First of all, Rise Up. That song has a little Tesla vibe to it. To me, this band checks all the boxes of any type of rock and roll you like. You know, if you like your guitars a little heavy, great. If you like a little pop rock sound in there, you've got that because their harmony vocals, again, cover the dynamic. It's great. And the lead vocalist, he's got that high range, but he's got some rasp in there. So you got to like it.
Dude, I can't believe you didn't comment more on the guitar player. You can hear Eddie. You can hear Nuno. You can hear Vito. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely insane. You def got to check them out. Hey, guys, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Make sure you check back in next week. We're going to be taking a look at the Kiss classic Alive 2 from 1977.
All I'm saying is flames, drums, loud guitars, harmony guitars, like Erik said before. Kiss Alive 2.
From when music didn't suck.